नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्रीवासादि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I have been hearing very wonderful reports about the girl's voice of Hyderabad temple from Her Grace Sakiradhika Mataji and all the other three mentors. They all jointly submitted a report about what all you are all doing. It was so thrilling to watch them. You all have been doing teachings of Queen Kunti and also many special festival lectures and lectures on different Goswamis of Vrindavan, and also many activities also. I also saw one of the videos sent by Namrata Mataji on the festival day, on Rath Yatra day, all devotees dancing in Rath Yatra and taking part in varieties of services. It was so joyful to see that you all are getting wonderful training under these mentors, guided by their senior ladies who are advisors, and they also have come one visit to their respective groups to give classes for all of you. So in this way, you all are very fortunate to get attention of your teachers and superiors, both in terms of training you in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness along with the practical application and activities. It's very, very wonderful, and it has grown very quickly within a very short time. So very, very happy to see that. So today I had given a topic for the talk today, and then I'll take some questions. Mataji, what was the topic I had given? In lockdown, what was that? Murli Gopinath Prabhu is here. He knows the... Basically, the topic was, even though we all are in lockdown, there is no loss even during the lockdown. And how is that?
Prabhuji, the lockdown is no bar for devotional service, Prabhuji.
Yeah, correct, yeah. So, there are, I will talk to you today about 4 blessed looks, even during this lockdown, which we can have. So, at the end of the class, I will revise it also, okay? It is said, look behind and thank Krishna. And look ahead and trust Krishna. Look around and serve Krishna. And look within and find Krishna. So I will tell you these 4 things with one example each. I told you, look behind and thank Krishna. You know, there was one beggar who was a blind man. He was sitting in the marketplace for begging alms, and he had a cap with him. He put his cap down and just wrote a board saying that, I am blind, please give me money. So people are giving some coins to him. Somebody who came there told him, can I write something else in that place of that board? He asked. And the man said, you can. As long as it fetches me money, it's all right, you write it. So that man wrote something else. Next day, the beggar saw the money that he got was 4 times more. And he was taken by surprise. How is it that I got so much money today? Sir, what did you write yesterday on my board? What have you changed it? He said, today the morning sunlight is very bright. but I am not fortunate to see it as you are able to. That's what he had written. So when people saw that board, today's sun is bright and the beggar is blind, so he can't see it, but God has given me the eyes. So immediately they felt gratitude. With that gratitude, instead of giving 1 rupee, they gave him 5 rupees. When our heart is full of gratitude, we have a habit of giving and sharing. When our heart is not having gratitude, we are always accusing, blaming, criticizing, grabbing, demanding mode in this world. We will see that. So we should have gratitude for whom? We should have gratitude to mother first, then father, then our other people who have done so much for us in our lives, whatever favors we have received from people. And most importantly, we should have gratitude to Krishna. Without Krishna's sanction, you can't see the things happening in this world. The rain is showering, flowers are blooming, the fruits are ripening, the grains are growing, seasons are changing. All these wonderful, miraculous things are happening around us. How is it all happening? Just like if you take iron filings on a paper and you put a magnet below the paper and rotate it, then all the iron filings will also go round and round. Similarly, you find, Krishna is the magnet, all attractive magnet, who is actually behind this universe, who is making all these changes happen, because of which we are drinking pure, sweet rainwaters. We are eating nice grains. So Kunti Maharani is also one great devotee lady. I'm quoting Kunti's example because you are all girls. You can take her example, very beautiful example. She's saying, Ime janapada sraddhaha supakva ushadi virudaha vanadrinadi udanvanto hedante tava vikshitaihi. Krishna, look at the nature, which is so bountiful. It's lushy green forest. The gardens are full of flowers. The trees are laden with ripened fruits. The udders of the cows is filled with milk bags. And when the cows are running hither and thither, they are making the milk kichad. They are pouring so much milk on the ground. It's a muddy pool of milk and mud. In this way, she's saying that everywhere there is a great prosperity. Why she's saying Vikshan tava vikshitai, he's saying Hedante tava vikshitai, your glance is falling. Wherever your glance falls, there is prosperity, Krishna. She's telling. You all know when Krishna went to the bank of Yamuna, the cowherd boys were all dead because of the effect of the poison of Kaliya, Naga. But Krishna glanced at them. Next moment, all the boys actually got up, revived back their life. So, we should be grateful. Also, like Kunti Maharani, she's telling that everything is prosperity is there in my life. It's only because of you. So God has given us 2 eyes and 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 ears. Everything is proper in our body. We don't have any handicap, so we should be thankful to Him because He designed His body for us. And we should be thankful to Him also because He has given us a mentor, a teacher to teach us and guide us in spiritual life. And we also should be thankful to Him because He is practically enveloping us in various ways in our life. He has come as a holy book, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. He has come as a holy rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Godavari, isn't it? He has come as the holy Sri Vigraha, Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan and Tirupati Balaji, and all these wonderful Sri Vigraha forms. He is coming as holy Prasadam. He is coming as holy name. And He's coming as a holy Divya Desams and everything. He's coming in so many forms, so we should be grateful to Him, grateful to the Lord. So here, Kunti Maharani is also telling that now Hastinapur is decorated with your lotus footprint. Neyam so vishyate tatra yadedanim gadadara swapadairan kitabhati swalakshana vilakshitahi. She's telling that your footprints, which is which you are putting on the ground of Hastinapur, they are glowing with all the symbols of your 16 symbols are there in Krishna's lotus feet. And they are all glowing. And because of that, there is prosperity in this bhumi. If you leave us and go away to Dwaraka, everything will become dried up, she's telling. So, with Krishna we flourish. Without Krishna we perish. Once Prabhupada was in London, with one Vibhavati Mataji, lady disciple, and one Prabhuji on either side walking with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada showed them one green grass, and then he showed them a pale yellow grass. Prabhupada asked, why is this green? Why is this pale yellow? They couldn't say. Prabhupada said, this green grass is connected to its root, whereas the pale yellow grass is not connected to its root. And then Prabhupada gave a punching lesson. He said, by connecting with Krishna, you flourish. By disconnecting with Krishna, you perish. He said. So, Kunti Maharani is telling Krishna that it's because of you we all are flourishing. Otherwise, we would be like lifeless bodies. She's saying, Yadus and Pandavas will be like lifeless bodies. She's saying. So, not only she is grateful for all these things, she also especially was grateful for the series of dangers in which Krishna was always with Pandavas. She gave a long list. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabaya Manavasa Kratrataha Mridhe Mridhe Neka Maharatastrato Draunyastrataschasma Hare Virakshitaha. She's telling all the list. You all have studied this, I believe, in the previous verses covered for you. So, it's called as a series of dangerous encounters. So, this is the meaning of look behind and thank Krishna. So, some of you may have a question. What if some troubles came in my life? How can I thank Krishna? If Krishna sent good things for me, I can be thankful. If Krishna gave me troubles, how can I be thankful? Actually, one boy was telling his father that, Papa, unless you give me Reebok shoes, I will not go to school. Father said, we are poor people. How can we get it for you? The boy was very adamant. He was just staying at home. Then the boy saw there was one fellow driving a cycle like this with his hand. His both legs were broken. No leg at all. Then the boy turned to the father and said, Father, look at that fellow. I am demanding shoes from you, but he doesn't have the legs only to wear shoes. When I look at him, I feel myself more fortunate. So he said, so then the boy agreed to go to school. Therefore, in material life, we should always look like this. Look at people below you in material life. In spiritual life, we should look like this. When you look up at people who are greater than you in spiritual life, you will always want to grow in spiritual life. In material life, you see the suffering people below you, you will be grateful. There are people who cannot eat once in 3 days also food. Compared to them, see, Krishna is giving us, we are eating 3 times food in one day. So you can see how fortunate we are. So therefore, the first thing is, look behind and thank Krishna. We should be thankful. We should be thankful you should be thankful naturally to your friends also who are coming for these classes. And they are giving you a good example, a good company. Imagine, see, when I was in my college days, there was one boy called Krishna Kumar who was my friend and roommate also. So we have to go to one Sri Vaishnava's house to take prasad every day. We have to walk about 15-20 minutes in the night. So one way 20 minutes, another way 20 minutes, 40 minutes. And then we will have prasad there. So on the way, he would recite Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. Vaishvam Vaishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Vabhyabhavat Prabhu Bhuta Grit Bhuta Bhritbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So he would recite 3 or 4 lines. Bhutatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagati. So he would recite that. Then he will start telling meaning of one name. And then only half he can complete when we would go forward. Then after eating prasad, when we will come back, on the way he'll balance, he'll complete. Such a good friend I had. So devotee friends who are reminding us of Krishna, reminding us of good habits, teaching us by their own shining example, we should be very, very grateful to them. It's very rare in this world. Shaile shaile na manikyam muktikam na gaje gaje sadavo nahi sarvatra chandanam na vane vane. Chanakya says that every elephant does not have a moti in the forehead. And every forest does not have sandalwood tree, he says. And he also says, Shaile Shaile na Manikyam, Mautikam na Gaje Gaje. Every mountain does not have diamond. Only some mountains have diamond mines. You can get diamond. Similarly, he says that everywhere you don't find devotees. These girls who have come from various places and connected to these programs, they are continuing to attend the program, that means they are really sincere. They are really serious. We should be grateful to them as Vaishnavis who are fellow, all of you are getting such association of other girls. So you should be grateful to them, grateful to teacher. So if you are not grateful, we simply become a great fool, it is said. Why we would be great fools? Because great fools means they will drop all the gifts received by them, they will drop it and go away. Many people have foolishly gone because they find faults with one another, they criticize one another, and because of that, blaming, accusing, leg pulling, backbiting, then they cannot stay, they go away. So therefore we should be very, very grateful. So look behind and thank Krishna. Then secondly, I told you, look ahead and trust Krishna. And that was, I forgot to tell you one thing. You were asking, I was telling you that you may say that, what about the sufferings that I got in the past? Why did Krishna give suffering to me? No, he put me in trouble, you may say. Actually, how does a devotee see the sufferings? A devotee thinks that, like I'll tell you one example again. I was in Vrindavan. So we all went to look different holy places in the buses. When we came back, and we got down from the buses, near the Krishna Balram temple, and we were all walking towards Foglarsham. So I was walking, there are thousands of people walking. I was also walking like that. Suddenly, one devotee from the other side of the road, across the road, came running towards me, and he pushed me from the back like this. Pushed me so heavily, he pushed me. I just rolled and toppled on the ground. Can any of you think a devotee will do that to you? Many devotees, when they look at me, they offer obeisances and say, Prabhuji, Vanchakalpatra obeisance. They reverentially fold their palms. This devotee pushed me, and I fell on the dust, and dust cloud was raised. And I was thinking, why this fellow is so angry with me? What did I do to him? I was thinking. So he pushed me down, and he crossed the road and ran back to the other side from where he came. And within a moment, within just a split second, I saw a cow running very fast. That cow was running. Then when many people lifted me up, I got up. And that devotee also came, and he practically cried and offered namaskar to me. He said, Prabhu, I pushed you because when 1,000 people got down from the buses and walked, this cow became frightened. She saw that so many people are coming. She started running fastly with her two big horns. He said, I saw everybody was on the side of the road. You were walking in the middle of the road, laughing and talking to devotees casually. If the cow came behind you, it would have put the two horns behind your back, in the back, and pierced you. And I was afraid that it should not cause any big accident to you. Therefore, I pushed you, he said. I told him, you did a great favor to me. It appears that you pushed me down to the ground, but by pushing me like that, you did a great service to me. If you didn't do that to me, maybe I'll be in a hospital. I don't know whether I'll be alive or dead today. You pushed me and you saved my life. So it's not an aparad. It's not an offense. So in the same manner, now apparently I rolled on the ground and fell. I may think, why Krishna is doing this to me? But Krishna did that to me to save my life. If I was not pushed by how Krishna gave the presence of mind to the devotee? He came and pushed me, and then this cow went ahead. So in our life, some sufferings come. Krishna is always very kind. He knows very well that if I give the suffering, it is good for this fellow. So therefore, you will find many things happen in this world. God knows better good for us than what we know ourselves also. Actually, why he does what he does, he only knows. But we can't see from a limited vision. Therefore, we should be grateful. Like one man was lying in the house, very conjuice person, miserly person. So suddenly, when he was sleeping at about 10 o'clock at night, one brick fell from the top of the house. It was an old house. It fell on his forehead like this. I screamed. All the neighbors came running. They saw it was profusely bleeding. They immediately put him in a car and took him to hospital. He was crying all the way. I told them, don't take me to hospital. It will be too costly. No. I'll just manage at home. I'll put some plaster and manage myself. But they took him to hospital. Admitted him. He got fainted, unconscious, and was bleeding a lot. They put stitches and everything. And midnight he got up. He saw the doctor and said, sir, how much is the bill? Doctor said, 3,000 rupees. He said, therefore I told these guys, don't take me to hospital. I would have purchased the 3 rupees ointment and applied for my head. these fellows have unnecessarily charged me a bill of 3,000, wasting my money. Then the doctor said, wait a minute. I heard just 10 minutes ago a news came that your whole roof of the house collapsed and it fell to the ground. The doctor said, imagine if you didn't come to hospital, you would be chutney under the roof. He said. So, therefore, we should always be grateful to God. If He gives us one small suffering, it's only a token suffering. We might be probably have to face a big suffering. He has given only a token suffering. One devotee was cutting potatoes. Suddenly he got a little cut in the finger, started bleeding. He ran to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I was cutting potatoes for Krishna. See how Krishna is cruel to me. He has cut my finger, it's bleeding. Why is Krishna doing this to his devotee? Prabhupada said, Krishna is supposed to cut your neck. He only cut your finger a little bit. Put a bandage and go and relax, he told them. So, Lord knows what is to be done for whom. And for devotees, unnecessarily Krishna will not give trouble. Actually, anyone who connects with Krishna always stands to gain. You all know that fruit vendor lady, she wholeheartedly gave the fruits to Krishna. And Krishna wholeheartedly filled up her basket with gold and silver and diamond. Isn't it? So many of you know that story. But there is an extension of the story told by Jiva Goswami. He says that this fruit vendor lady took the tokri basket on her head and went home, dancing her way. And all the other ladies said, hey, today you are dancing so happily. Seems you got something special. So as soon as she kept the basket down, she saw it was full of gold and silver and diamond. And she cried loudly. Actually, imagine if any of you were there, will you cry? If you see gold, silver and diamond, you'll be dancing, isn't it? Oh, I got so much wealth, isn't it? So she said, Krishna, I came to have a relationship with you as a mother, and you gave me gold and silver and diamond, you drove me away. I didn't come for this. I didn't come for your pocket. I came for you. And you have given me this wealth and driven me away. So she threw it in one corner of her, hut. Again she filled up the fruits. Again she went to Nanda Bhavan. And again she called out loudly that I am a Phalvali. Krini hibo phalani iti drishtva satparam achyutam. So Lord Achyuta heard her call again. Again he came running out carrying some Phalarti Danyamadaya Sarva Phalayav Pradaha. He says he carried again the grains and came. So that time, he asked Krishna, just now you gave me so many fruits. Why have you brought again? You want to give me again? She said, yes, I want to give you again. So she gave again more fruits. Krishna accepted them all. And then Krishna asked, so what do you want in return? She said, you just sit on my lap, my child, she said. So Krishna sat on the lap and said, please call me Maya, like that you call me, he said. So she called them. Krishna called them, Maya. And hearing that word Maya, Yashoda came out, thinking Krishna is calling me. When Yashoda came out, this lady picked up Krishna and gave Krishna to Yashoda. Yashoda picked up. Now this lady went back very joyfully, dancing her way back, and all her friends asked, how are you dancing today so joyfully? She said, today I became Krishna's mother, she said. So for the devotees, the joy is not gold or silver or diamond or anything like that. Ordinary women, they will be thinking, what kind of husband will I get who will have a 10 lakh per annum salary? He'll build a big house for me. He'll get a big car, foreign car for me. He will get the costliest dresses for me. He will put on best of the ornaments for me. He will keep me very affluent and rich. I will be like a fairy. Ordinary girl may be thinking like that. But all of you are all devotee girls. So naturally, as devotee, what is your aspiration? Like that fruit vendor lady, her aspiration was that I became Krishna's mother today. Same for Sudama. Sudama, when he went to, when Sudama was having a tattered clothes, when he was going to Dwaraka, I was laughing when I heard that section because he's wearing tattered clothes, his bones are visible, he's so skinny, but he's asking his wife, how can I go with empty hand? I have to carry something for Krishna. Are what will you carry? You are yourself so poor. Even though he is so poverty-stricken, his desire is not to grab from Krishna, but to give Krishna. That is love. Love means to give. Lust means to grab for oneself, selfishly. So he carried some, you all know that he carried some chipped rice to Krishna. And he only wanted to exchange pure love with Krishna. So a grateful heart is a loving heart also. So therefore, look behind and thank Krishna in all circumstances, in fair weather and foul weather. You see, 3 IITians jumped off from 7-story building an IIT and committed suicide in IIT Hyderabad in 2019. So I was surprised. Why? Because they might have had some academic problems or something. But compare these 3 boys with Pandavas. Pandava's wife was insulted. They were looted by gambling match. Bhima was fed with poison. They were driven away. They were sent to the Varnavad Lakshagraha to be burnt alive. They were driven away to the jungle for 12 years plus 1 more year, 13 years. And they returned back. They were not given the kingdom. Did any of the Pandavas talk about committing suicide? Think about it. Because they always had Krishna with them. So if you have Krishna, you have everything. If you don't have Krishna, you have nothing. These IIT boys, poor fellows, they didn't have Krishna, so they committed suicide. Pandavas had Krishna. So they could have, like, going gets tough, the tough get going. You will see that Pandavas never, even in the worst of sufferings, they always looked behind and thanked Krishna. That was their attitude. Krishna, whatever situation you put us in. Because the reason why they were so happy, I will tell you. Even in the forest, Kamyakavan, you will find Krishna will come. The Vrishakaipavan, Krishna will come to meet them. That means, you put a fish in a half bucket of water, or you put a fish in the ocean. As long as the fish has contact with the water, the fish is happy. He doesn't say why little or why lots. He doesn't say that. Similarly, as long as we are in contact with Krishna, we will feel always happy. And we are disconnected from Krishna, we will never be happy with anything else in this world. Therefore, look behind and thank Krishna that Krishna never left us. He's always coming in our life in some way or other. Especially now, Krishna has worked in your life very well by connecting all of you to good mentors and guides who are taking you ahead in spiritual life and leading you to the path of happiness, boundless happiness. And then second thing I told you, look ahead and trust Krishna. Who is the example for that? The example is Prahlad. Prahlad was such an amazing personality. So there are many examples for this. Prahlad is the best example because, Prahlad is simply amazing because his father tortured him in varieties of ways. You all know that. He put him in the cage of hungry lions. He put him in a place where there were terrible snakes, cobras and all. He put him in the ocean and threw a huge mountain over him. He gave Prahlad to his sister Holika, told her, you have a body which will never be burnt by fire. Take this kid with you and burn him inside the fire. So she took Prahlad and went in. Instead of Prahlad getting burned, she got burned. Prahlad came out. So, you see, Prahlad's consciousness is such that he had full faith in Krishna. He trusted Krishna. When his father finally told him, Prahlad, I will take my sword and cut off your head myself. Let me see how you escape from my hands. And he came dashing towards Prahlad with a sword in the hand. Imagine if any of us were in front of such a personality, what we would have done. We would have run from the back doors of the house. Is it not? Or you think Prahlad bowed down to his father and begged for his life? Did Prahlad cry? Did Prahlad become angry? Did Prahlad take another sword to fight with his father? Did he call the police? He didn't do anything. He just stood with great determination and confidence. He said, if Lord Vishnu wants to see me dead, then only you can kill me. If Vishnu wants to see me alive, no power under the sun can kill me. Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake ke. So he had full trust in the Lord. That is actually Prahlad. Very great Prahlad. Actually, we should always await Lord's mercy in our lives. Patiently. Shabari, when she was a little girl, she was only 8-year-old. She was living in the Nasik area. And she saw the rishis, munis and all living there and sitting and doing meditation and Ashtanga yoga and all that. So she would go to many of the rishis and tell them, can I also learn? They said, you're a little girl, what can you learn? You just, you go and learn your household from your mother, that's enough. But most of the rishis felt that she is too little to learn all these things. But one rishi respected her request. His name is Matanga Rishi. So Now, how she was inspired to go to Matanga Rishi is amazing. She was passing through the Matanga Rishi's ashram. Outside there were trees, and the trees were showering fragrant flowers, very, very fragrant flowers. So then she asked the disciples that, can you tell me, how are these flowers so fragrant, while there are many other flowers in other places, they are not so fragrant? This little girl asked. They said, you see, there are many of the disciples of Matanga Rishi who are senior most disciples. They have put so much sweat and toil in service to their guru. And that sweat and toil was put in this garden by their seva. And due to which these trees have acquired this fragrance. Therefore, the flowers are so fragrant. The fragrant flowers indicate the service attitude of the senior most disciples, whom we are all inspired by, they said. And that was the point for her. When she heard it, she said, oh, I definitely want to meet this Rishi who has made first-class disciples of Lord, devotees. So Matanga Rishi accepted her as a disciple and taught her. She told her that, I bless you, little girl, that you will see Lord Rama face to face. So, excuse me. So, then Matanga Rishi actually left the world. And she also grew up performing meditation and chanting and everything. She was actually a devotee come Ashtanga Yogi, like Dhruva Maharaj. She could do Ashtanga Yoga also. At the same time, she was a devotee also. So, when she became 90 plus, she was in her ripe old age, Lord Rama and Lakshman came there. See, Lord Rama is such a benevolent Lord. He didn't think that, he didn't think from any profit point of view. What will I get if I go and meet a 90-year-old lady? What is she going to give me? He didn't think like that. That's the reason why Lord Rama is God, you see. He has such a magnanimous heart. And he thought that here is a devotee, Shabari, living in this locality, waiting for me. And her guru has blessed her. And she has done devotion service to me for so long. I should definitely go and give my darshan. So Lord Rama arrived there. And she tasted the fruits, and kept the sweet ones for Ram. And the bitter ones, she threw it away. So I never understood, why should somebody taste a small part of the fruit and keep it for somebody? It doesn't look good, I was thinking. One day, it was Ekadashi day. My assistant used to make fruit juice for me on Ekadashi day. So my assistant made, this sweet lime juice. Sweet lime juice is Mausambi juice, we call it. It's supposed to be sweet. So when he brought it, when I drank it, it was so sour. It was almost like lemon. I called him and said, hey, is it lemon juice or sweet lime juice? He said, sweet lime juice, he said. Did you drink it and see? I asked him. He said, no. I said, you didn't drink it. Why are you feeding me then? First you taste it and then give me how katta it is, how bad it is, I said. Then he tasted and said, yes, Puji, it's not good, he said. It's not good for you. So then immediately it struck me why Shabari was tasting and then giving Ram. Because Shabari's idea was, I don't want to give anything to Ram that will displease him. I want to see him pleased. So therefore she gave like that. And then Lord Ram, after eating the fruits, he asked her, what do you want? I can give you any benediction. She said, the only benediction I want is I want to serve my spiritual master, who has already gone to the spiritual world. I want to return to the same abode so I can eternally serve him. That's the boon she asked. I heard that you all learnt about, identifying a spiritual master and the ideal qualities of a disciple. Therefore, I told you this. So, as soon as Lord Ram blessed her, when Ram and Lakshman left, she sat in yogic posture and instantly left her body, went back to Godhead. She was just waiting for Ram to come. So here is an example of Shabari who was so patient, patiently waiting the mercy of the Lord. Look ahead and trust Krishna. You all know there is an eagle called Jatayu. This Jatayu had one brother called Sampati. So this Jatayu and Sampati, both are brothers, and both eagles were flying in the sky. Up, they were going up. And they went so high in the sky, the sun's rays were hitting up their wings. And this Sampati wanted to protect his brother Jatayu. So he went above Jatayu and started protecting him. But then his wings got burned. Then Sampati came down, crashing to ground. And then one place, a part of his wing was burnt. And then there was one sage who was passing by, Nishakara Muni. So Nishakara Muni saw the plight of Sampati and said, "So don't worry, Sampati. You don't have to commit suicide. Whatever body you have now," he had one son called Suparna. So he said, "You have a son God has given you, and he will take care of you in your old age. Don't worry. But I bless you that when the Vanara sent by Lord Rama will come here, because you don't have wings, you can't help anybody by flying in the sky now. But when you have no wings to serve the Lord, like Jatayu flew up and attacked Ravana and served Ram by trying to protect Sita. But you may not be able to serve with your wings, but you can serve with your mouth. When you don't have the wings, speak with your mouth. Give some information about Ram's request. At that time, your wings will grow. Like that he said. Now Sampati was waiting. Do you know how long he was waiting? Not 5 years or 10 years. 500 years passed, 1,000 years passed, 2,000 years passed, 5,000 years passed. 8,000 years passed. And then Sampati was almost about to lose hope. How long will I have to wait for my wings to grow? At that time, the Vanaras came there. All the Vanaras were all there, and Sampati met them, and they came to Sampati. And Sampati told them the information. He said, when he heard about Jatayu from them, he said, "Jatayu is my brother," he said. And then Sampati gave them information about Sita. He said, "I have an eagle, has a telescopic eyes. I can see in Lanka, the golden Lanka I can see from here. That is where Sita is there. You will find her if you go there." So he said, I can definitely tell all of you, that is for sure. So as soon as the monkeys got the news, they were very happy. The moment he told the news to monkeys and told, if anybody does not have hands or legs to serve God, they should serve God with their mouth. Like that Sampati said. So I have served Ram with my mouth. He said, as soon as he said that, he got the wings. Because Nishakara Muni blessed him that he will grow the wings. Then he thanked the monkeys and he started flying up in the sky again. So here is another example, apart from Shabari, for another personality like Sampati, who is very patient. We have to be patient to wait for the mercy. Many times we chant Hare Krishna for 6 months or 1 year and say, why am I not feeling love for Krishna? Why am I not becoming a pure devotee? One should be patient in spiritual life. One should not expect things to happen overnight. So if you are patient, then we can trust Krishna. We should know that look ahead and trust Krishna, because we don't know what's going to come in our life subsequently. But we should know for sure that whatever comes our way, Krishna never told the devotees that you will not have any struggle in life. He tells Arjuna, you will have struggle. But during the struggle, if you remember me, I will be there for you. Like that Krishna said. Like Draupadi, she suddenly was feeling trouble in the forest because Durvasa Muni came with thousands of disciples. But Krishna had told Draupadi and Pandavas that whenever you all think of me, I will be there. So this is the way to go. Remember Krishna, and he will be there to help immediately. The moment we remember him. So for devotees, there are difficulties. If difficulties are not there, probably we will forget Krishna. When difficulties come, we remember him. When we remember him, he comes in our life and supports us in our life. He gives us sadbuddhi, how to act in difficult situations. Therefore, always look ahead and trust Krishna. Whatever the future holds for us, don't unnecessarily panic. Don't unnecessarily fear. Don't unnecessarily lose distrust. Don't become distrust. Don't develop distrust. Always trust him, and that his shelter will always be there for me in all difficult, trying circumstances. Devotees of the Lord were always put in different type of situations, and they trusted Krishna, and Krishna was there for them. Krishna says that, I am always there for my devotee who never leaves my lotus feet. I am always there to guide them, give them the right intelligence at the right time. He says. So, these are examples of, Prahalad and our Shabari and all these people. Then a third I told you, look around and serve Krishna. Look around and serve Krishna. So how to do that? Look around and serve Krishna. Actually, in our lives, we should know that we are taking everything from Krishna. So I'm going to show you one small PowerPoint. Just a minute. Yeah, you can show this. Yeah. As you see in this picture here, you see Krishna is at the top and there are devatas below. Just like in India, we have, education department, electric department, water department, like that. Similarly, in Krishna also got many cabinet ministers, devatas. Like we say, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutas Tunvanti Divyaistavai. Like that we say, so Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all are assisting him. Like you see, and below that you find when they are showering the rain, the birds are happy, the children are happy. See, the plants are dancing in great happiness. In this way, the rain showers, the sunlight, the moonlight. So all these things are actually provided by Krishna through the agency of the demigods. So, like here you see, Ahara Shuddhav Sattva Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddhav Dhruva Smriti, Smriti Lambe Grantina Vipramoksha. So he says here that if you cook the vegetables and fruits and everything and offer it to Krishna, and then you accept the prasadam as his mercy, then that prasadam actually purifies our mind and heart. And it also elevates our consciousness. And we can very easily think of going back to Godhead by eating prasad. Therefore, one has to accept only what food is sanctioned by Krishna and sanctified by offering to Krishna. Like you see, how wonderful, or none of these things can be manufactured by any scientists or, big educated fellows. These are all gifts of Krishna. We are receiving from the nature. So these are sanctioned items. And what is not sanctioned? Fish, meat, eggs, they are not sanctioned. But these are sanctioned for the human being. So we should receive the sanctioned items from the nature and offer it to Krishna to make it sanctified. So we all delight in the prasad. Krishna is so kind. He thinks that my living entities are all my children and they are all eager to eat nice foods. So he has sent us spices. He has sent us different type of foods and everything. And he is also giving us. So not only the vegetables and fruits and cereals, he gives us sunlight, moonlight. He's sending us the Vedas. He's also digesting the food in our belly. In the 15th chapter, he says that. And besides these two items, he's also giving us iron and gold and silver and diamond and all the 120 metals mentioned in the Mandel's periodic table, isn't it? So he's giving us all the metals, he's giving us all the vegetables, fruits and everything. He's giving sunlight, moonlight, rain, water, everything. But we should remember, we should not take these things and, waste our life in sense enjoyment. Like I'll ask a simple thing. If any of you is staying in a hostel and you're studying in a college, your parents are sending you money every month. So your parents have some expectation from you that you study in the hostel. They are sending you money for food, money for accommodation, and money for paying the college fee or course fee. And what is the expectation of parents? You complete the 4 years of engineering or 5 years of medicine or whatever. And you graduate from the college and come out with a degree and become stable in life. Similarly, Krishna also has sent us to this world. What is the expectation? He's giving us sunlight, moonlight, rain, water, everything. He's giving us grains, fruits, cereals, spices, everything. He's giving us iron, steel, gold, everything. He's giving iron and steel to make the houses. And he's giving us food to eat. He is giving us all facilities required. We should take these facilities and we can accept them. But after accepting them, what we should do? We should purify our heart by chanting Hare Krishna and go back to God. For that purpose, he's giving a facility. Imagine if a boy or a girl take money from the parents and they are simply watching movies, going to parties, joining different clubs and enjoying life without studying and earning the degree. Will parents be happy? In the same manner, Lord has put us in this world for a purpose. There is a clear-cut goal of life. Have you ever seen anybody playing football match without goal post? Without goal post, nobody will play games. Similarly, we also should know there is a goal of human life. So, many of us think about immediate goals, that I have to earn my degree, I have to do this, do that. But the ultimate goal is actually to go back to God from where we have come. So, here he says here, the purpose of all the supplies Lord is giving is to keep the body and soul together for the purpose of self-realization. We are not a boy, we are not a girl, we are not a dog or a cat. These are all only dresses over the soul. We are actually the soul. So, and then we have to understand, Prabhupada says, I was just hearing beautiful lecture, he says, self-realization means to know who is God, where does he live, what does he do, and what is my relationship with him. 4 things, he says. Who is God? Krishna is God. Where does he live? He lives in Vaikuntha, Goloka. What does he do? He exchanges Leela with his devotees. And his Leelas are all very, very wonderful, extraordinary. I will just show you one Leela for a minute. I'll show you. You can see how wonderful it is.
Hey, what do you want, my fine feathered friends? Ah, I see. What shall I play then? An excellent choice. You are as gracious as you are beautiful. I will wear it with honor.
So, you can see Krishna is how gracious he is. You know, actually the peacocks didn't have any great gift to give Krishna. The peacocks just pulled out one of their peacock feathers and kept it in Krishna's lotus feet. But Krishna wanted to tell them how much I value your small gift. For you it may be small, for me it is very great because you are all my pure devotees. So Krishna took that peacock feather and put it on his head. Head is the prominent place of our body. He put it on that place. So this is the way Krishna is reciprocator. Most people, if you talk about God, they think God is a creator. God is a God, generator, operator, destroyer. People think like that. But generating is done by Brahma. Operation is done by Vishnu. Destruction is done by Shiva. Krishna doesn't have to come for all that. Krishna is beyond that. And beyond that, what does he do? He has only one business, to exchange love with his devotees. You see, Krishna is such an amazing Lord. Once when in Bhaumasura's palace, those queens, those princesses, they were all stolen by from various kingdoms. Bhaumasura had brought them all and put them in a jail. So they had practically no hope. They had practically no future. They thought we are going to live here and this Asura may exploit us anytime he wants, he may abuse us, and we may have to die there only. That's all they thought. But as I told you, look ahead and trust Krishna. They were all Krishna's devotees actually. They were waiting for Krishna to come someday. And one day Krishna came and killed Bhaumasura and opened the jail gate. When he opened the doors of the gate and came in, then all the princesses were delighted to see him. And Krishna told these princesses, now all of you are set free now. You all go back to your respective homes and get married and settled and be very happy. So these princesses didn't budge an inch. They said, how will we go? We are actually a rejected lot, they said, because we have been brought by this Asura here. Nobody else will marry us. So imagine in those days, the laws were very, very strict. And if a woman was carried away by Asura, nobody else will marry her. So they were actually, we can say, hopeless case. And they had no future at all. But still they trusted Krishna. Because they trusted Krishna, Krishna came in their life. And Krishna asked, what do you want to do? They said, you only marry us. Then Krishna agreed to marry all of them. And he gave them all one palanquin to take them to Dwaraka. He gave them all costly, beautiful dresses and ornaments. And he gave them one palace each and lived with each of them. And when Krishna would come in the evening, they would wash Krishna's feet. They would remove his mukut and comb his hair. And they would perform arati for him. And they would feed him prasad. Although they had thousands of servant maids, they would personally want to serve Krishna. And whom do you think are these queens? These queens have done millions of years of devotional service. At last they have achieved this exalted position of becoming Krishna's queen, to live in the same palace with him, to see him, to serve him, to express their affection for him, and day in and day out, they got Lord as their husband. So in this way, you will see that these princesses had trust in Krishna, and Krishna appeared in their lives. So there is another case of 20,700 kings who were arrested by Jarasandha. They were also waiting for Krishna, and Krishna came in their life also and saved them from the jail. So in this way, here I was telling you, if you see here, if you don't keep our body and soul together for the purpose of self-realization, if we forget the purpose of creation, see, the purpose of creation is not sense gratification, but self-realization. So then we may enjoy the gifts without offering sacrifice, which is very bad. Yeah. Okay, now I will show you something interesting. Okay, these things. Here you can see this. This is actually a list of items which are given as quota. These are all shown in the next slides. I will show you. See here, for example, on the right side, I have shown you what is, some of you are new. So you can also see, you will easily appreciate this point. On the right side, I have shown what is not sanctioned. See, these fellows are eating pig and unclean in their habits. So this is unsanctioned food. On the left side, you find it is not only sanctioned, it is sanctioned and sanctified. This Mataji, she has cooked boga, she has offered to Krishna, she is supplying prasadam. So it is sanctioned. Sanctioned means vegetarian, and sanctified means Krishna prasadam. Like one man told Prabhupada, Swamiji, I am a vegetarian, he said. Prabhupada said, even a monkey is vegetarian, he said. So being vegetarian is all right, but Prabhupada said, we are Krishnatarian, he said. Krishnatarian means we offer vegetarian food to Krishna and then only we eat. So it's sanctioned and sanctified. Here you see, Duryodhana and Shakuni, they are encroaching upon others' property. Whereas Pandavas, they always felt that everything belongs to Krishna. That is the right consciousness. Duryodhana and company had wrong consciousness. See, wealth earned by gambling and other things. On the left side, you find wealth, honorably earned wealth, and a portion of which is offered to Lord's service. It is sanctioned and sanctified. See, if you are not cheating and making money, but honorably making money, it is called sanctioned. But a portion of that money we offer to God's service, it is sanctified. Similarly, here you find a person is doing some robbing, stealing, and that is not allowed. That is actually, that type of work is, no government will agree that you can have a profession as a thief. Indian government won't allow you. That is a prohibited activity. On the left side, you find Varnashrama, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You can do work which is prescribed for us in scriptures. And then that is sanctioned. And if you offer the fruits to Krishna, it is sanctified. Similarly, some people do for greed, for wealth and honor. They go to any damn extent to loot and cheat and get money out of greed. Like Duryodhana was like that. He was not ready to give 5 villages also. On the left side, you find Arjuna is fighting the battle only because Krishna ordered him to do. He would not want to fight the battle on his own. Their endeavor is also sanctified. Here you can see Ravana carrying any woman from any part of the universe for his own personal selfish gratification, illicitly. And that is prohibited. And on the left side, you find married as per religious principles, Ekapatni Vrata, he took Rama. And this is within, that means, marrying in proper way, religious way, that is sanctioned. And husband and wife becoming Krishna's devotees, that is sanctified. Yeah. And in the modern times, one should be very pure in character, because one is pure in character, then one can beget children who are saintly. They will also be very pure in character. So, therefore, whether you are a woman or a man, both have the responsibility to preserve the purity of their character. And one should not build a house to increase one's prestige, possessing vast bungalows. So many poor people are not even getting daily food. Why should one live in a very lavish bungalow like this? Instead, one should accept some place for living, and then husband, wife, and children, they all should engage in Krishna consciousness. Similarly, one should not do animal slaughter or abortion. One should not do. That is sinful, prohibited. On the left side, you find Parikshit Maharaj is protecting the cow and bull and raising his sword towards Kali. So in this way, it's a duty. We should not dominate the poor creatures, innocent creatures. Rather, we should treat them like our brothers and sisters. So, and one should not sleep like this unnecessarily. It's too much sleep. And one should 6 hours of sleep is good, and one should keep oneself healthy. And in this way, similarly, one should not see unholy movies or cinema magazines. Look at these teenage kids, they're watching something dirty. And they may actually pollute their heads by this. So, because they want some recreation, but they are having a harmful recreation. One should have harmless recreation and divine recreation, like you see on the other side. Devotees are playing Mridanga Kartal and doing Harinam Sankirtan in the public place. And that is actually purifying. While that is purifying, this kind of watching mobile is putrefying. You see, so we have to have the right type of choice. So in this way, now I showed you the quota which is prescribed. So, yeah. So in this way, I was telling you about how we should look ahead and trust Krishna in our lives. Look around and serve Krishna, I was telling you. So look around and serve Krishna. How is it done? Our Ambarish Maharaj is the best example. He looked around and served Krishna in varieties of ways. Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayo Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunana Varnane Karo Harer Mandira Marjanadishu Shrutim Chakara Chuta Satkatho Daye Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drishau Tat Pratyagatra Sparshenga Sangamam Granam Chatat Pada Saroja Saurabe Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Pado Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane Shiro Krishi Kesha Padavi Vandane Kamam Chadasye Natu Kamakam Jaya Yadottama Shloka Gunashrayarati. Very, very beautiful verses. He is saying, Ambarish Maharaj would go in the morning to the temple. He would take darshan of the deities of Krishna with his eyes. He would clean the temple hall with his own hands. He would walk to the temple with his own legs. He will not go in a chariot. He'd walk with his legs. And he would hear the Krishna Katha sitting there in the Bhagavatam class regularly. And with his tongue, he will only eat the prasadam offered to Krishna. Yeah. And in this way, he would accept the fragrance of the flowers offered to Krishna, the scent offered to Krishna. So in this way, this whole series of verses talk about, we had one poem for the children in Pune. I use my eyes to see Krishna, see Krishna, see Krishna. I use my eyes to see him. Like that a song. I use my ears to hear about Krishna, hear about Krishna, hear about Krishna. I use my ears to hear about him. So the children will also do action. I use my ears to hear about Krishna, like that they would do action like this. So all our children in Pune put up a beautiful song for the anniversary of our BMS school in Pune. So in this way, Ambarish Maharaj would utilize all his senses in Lord's service. So while he was doing like that, one young girl came to marry him, wanted her to marry to him. Her parents approached Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj said a flat no to the family. He said, I have already many queens and I am not interested now because I have no time. I have to serve Krishna, he said. But this girl told her parents that even if he doesn't give me time, no problem. But I wish to marry only a pure devotee like Ambarish. She insisted, and then finally the marriage happened. The next day morning when Ambarish Maharaj went to the puja room to fetch water in the pitcher, it was already full. So he asked the servant, hey, who brought this water? Servant said, your newly wedded wife, she got very early in the morning and she fetched this water from Yamuna, which you bring every day. Ambarish became angry. He called his wife and said, hey, this is my service. You can't take away my seva. She said, I am your wife. Can't I assist you in your devotional service? She asked. He said, no. If you really wish to assist me, you assist me in your palace. I'll make a beautiful altar for you. You do there. But here in the temple, this is my service area. Here I only want to serve these deities. Like that he said. So his wife said, okay, so be it. So he made one altar for her in her palace. And then here Ambarish continued to serve. After a few weeks, 2-3 weeks, one Lord appeared in his dream and said, Ambarish, I appreciate your service. You have been doing service to me for many years. But I am not impressed with your service as much as I am impressed with your wife's service. Like that Lord said. And Ambarish was surprised. Which wife are you talking about, my Lord? I have many queens. Lord said, your last wife, the youngest wife, her service is the best. You should go and see how she serves me. Then immediately Ambarish went to her palace. And then he saw what kind of decoration she had made on the altar. What type of decoration she made for the Lord, and the dresses and the ornaments and the amazing thing. I will show you, one family in Pakistan is living, and what kind of amazing decorations they do. You will be stunned if you see that. I was really, really amazed. The kind of family. This family, husband and wife, they are just two people. They do amazing dressing. This is the one. You can see this one. See, this is the husband and wife. They have this Radha and Krishna there. You see? Sweet looking deities, no? You can see how they look. See here. This Mataji, how she decorates, you see. How much jewelry ornament she has put. You can see. See here, Radharani is looking in the mirror, you see Krishna. And see here, see this one. You know what she is holding in the hand? This is actually a laddu. What laddu? It's a kurumara laddu, I think. Oh, I don't know what they call kurumara here. You know, puffed rice laddu. It's holding. And in this picture, you find she has big plate of laddus for Krishna also here. Fine. What kind of decoration you see, jata and everything. See the nose ring and amazing decoration, isn't it? See here, this one. It's even more amazing now. So sweet. So much expression on the face of Radha and Krishna. So yeah. So this is amazing decoration. So in this way you find we can actually yeah. So I was telling you about how Ambarish's wife had decorated like that, and she cooked the best of the offerings and finest of the food she was offering. Ambarish understood, my Lord, this lady is very, very talented. And he started going regularly to copy. Because Ambarish was an intelligent king, he never had ego at all. No ego. He was ready to learn from his wife. He noted everything. I am also going to offer like this until my Krishna tells me in the temple that I am also satisfied with you. So the other queens, they started seeing, hey, this fellow is going regularly to that palace. What is happening? I think she's the youngest queen. He is more attracted to her than all of us. Then they found out the secret that Lord came in the dream and told Ambarish. Then they all demanded Ambarish, we want an altar in our palace also. So then Ambarish made one for each of the Antapur of each of these queens and servant maids. He made one altar and gave them. Then all the queens started doing meticulous worship of the Lord in their altars. See, woman means one should sleep early, rise early in the morning, and one should take a bath and clean the puja room and offer obeisances to the Lord, lit up the lamp and chant one's rounds and do the household chores with great enthusiasm, never keep the house clean. After cooking, never keep the pots till evening, without washing them. And one should never dump the clothes, huge amount of clothes in one corner and not washing them. One should not be like that. Actually, I had 3 sisters in my life. So I have actually, my mother and the other people have been teaching them. So I also, because of that, I am telling all these things. So one should actually, my mother used to train them right from very young age in rising in the morning and cooking. When my sisters were little kids, little girls, they learned all cooking they can do. When my mother would be in a period for 3 days, little girl, my little sister could cook everything actually. So in this way, all the queens of Ambarish Maharaj would cook. Anjar Maharaj would worship Krishna with such utmost thing. And all the praja saw that, citizens. King is such a great devotee, queens are great devotees, what are we doing? Everybody made an altar in their homes and started worshipping the Lord. So Ambarish kingdom the whole world became flooded with pure devotees and they all went back to Godhead. So in this way, look around and serve Krishna. That's the point. Look around and serve Krishna means look around. Oh, let me get the best flowers for Krishna. Let me get the best vegetables for Krishna. Let me get the best fruits for Krishna. Let me get the best outfits for Krishna. Let me get the best ornaments for Krishna. Let me get the best crowns for him. Whatever I see in the market, anything that will fit in my Lord's altar, I will get it. Look around and serve Krishna. That's the meaning. Yeah. And then finally, I told you, look within and find Krishna. That is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj. Actually, this is also another very great pastime. You see, it teaches how a woman should be. Generally, an ordinary woman becomes envious if she sees another woman. Like Dhruva Maharaj's mother was non-envious. Whereas her co-wife, Suruchi, she was very envious. Although she was very good looking, Dhruva Maharaj's mother was simple looking. Dhruva Maharaj's mother was Gunavati. Whereas Uttama's mother was Rupavati. So in this world, many women think that if you are very good looking, then we can attract magnetically, so many men will be behind us. Actually, that is a very superficial qualification. How long will this beauty last? You become 30, 40, 50, 60 years, hair will become white, teeth will fall away, wrinkles will come on the faces. How long can we remain beautiful in this world? But if you are Gunavati, the world will remember you even after you die. People will keep saying, what a good girl, what a Gunavati, what a Shilavati, what kind of character she had. People will keep talking. Therefore, Chanakya says, Strishu Dushkuladapi, he's saying, Stri Ratnam Dushkuladapi. He says, even if a girl is born in a lower caste family, like Shudra or lower caste family, if she's a Kulavati, she's a Shilavati or Gunavati, she is glorified more than a Brahmani girl also. So, that is a big difference between Suruchi and Suniti, you will see. Suruchi chastised Dhruva, don't sit in your father's lap, you are not born from me. On the other hand, you will see Suniti, mother of Dhruva, told him, my dear child, don't harbor any malice for your stepmother. If she has to get punishment, God will give her. You don't have to worry. You always think about your progress. See, you can do two things in life. Either pull somebody's leg and trouble them, and they are not going to keep quiet. They will also trouble you. Instead, you think about your progress in life. And you don't think ill of others. Such a good teaching she taught. All of you girls, tomorrow when you get married and when you beget children, if you have to teach such lessons, then you have to study the Srimad Bhagavatam very well. Because we should not harbor any malice for anybody. Vaishnava means, na krodo rata matsaryo na lobo na ashubhamatihi bhavanti krita punyanam bhaktanam purushottame. A Vaishnava unnecessarily doesn't become angry. And he doesn't become matsarata, means para utkarsha sahanam. They never have difficulty tolerating others' success. Na matsaryo, na lobo, they are not greedy. Na ashubhamati, they never feel any malice for others. Then what do they do then? Bhavanti krita punyanam bhaktanam purushottame. Constantly they are engaged in devotional service, blissfully, happily, without becoming envious of anybody. So we find, look within and find Krishna. So his mother was an intelligent girl. She said, Lord is in your heart. And if you want to find him, go to forest where you find great sages and saints, Vaishnava devotees. They will guide you how to see Vishnu. The same Lord is in your heart, but now you can't see him. But by proper guidance from bona fide gurus and Vaishnavas, you will be able to see. So she gave the first class guidance to him. She inspired him to surrender to Vishnu, and Narada taught him the components of surrender. And then the boy went to the forest and meditated for 6 months and saw Vishnu eye to eye. And then suddenly Lord Vishnu disappeared from his heart, whom he was watching with great intensity. I was shocked. Where is Vishnu? He opened his eyes and then suddenly found in front of him. So the same Lord who was in his heart, he was right in front of him. Same way we all are devotees of Krishna. As we become more and more ripe and mature in our devotional service, we can see Krishna in our heart. When you go to Goloka, we will see him eye to eye personally. So in this way, these are 4 things I told you. Look behind and thank Krishna. Look ahead and trust Krishna. Look around and serve Krishna. Look within and find Krishna. And Devaki and Vasudev did all of this. You will see they were inside the jail in lockdown, but they did not complain. They were always grateful to Krishna in all situations. So the lockdown did not pose any challenge for Devaki and Vasudev, because although they were inside a jail, you will see that they begot Krishna as the 8th child. How blessed they are. In the same manner, we all can be in our own lockdown in our homes, but we can also beget Krishna in our hearts. And by our becoming more and more Krishna conscious. That was my point actually. The lockdown cannot be pose any barrier for us. Certainly we can bring Krishna from our heart by faithfully practicing in the guidance of senior devotees. So thank you all very much for your sincerity and taking up Krishna consciousness. You're chanting Hare Krishna, you're reading Prabhupada books, coming to the Association of Devotees. And you are all guided by mentors, and above them there are many senior ladies, families who are guiding them. So it's a beautiful shelter you are getting, like a big Vatavriksha, big banyan tree shelter you are all getting. And I would suggest you that stay in this safe association, safety net of this association, and remain protected, live a life of pure character, and become the ideal role model girls, so that other girls should look at your lifestyle and how happily, peacefully you are living. Nowadays, boys, girls are terribly suffering because of lack of character and lack of good habits. But you all are getting such a protective environment. Stay safe and become successful in your life. And I pray that Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ji blesses all of you in your life to continue the same way you are all doing now for all time to come. Shri Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. I can take 5 minutes questions.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank
So
you.
if anybody has any questions, they can raise their hand. So we can unmute them.
My voice was clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. It was very clear.
Yeah.
Yes, Namrata Yadav is having one question.
Yeah, please.
So,
Sorry, not actually a question, but I wanted to thank Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving your valuable time and placing us. It was really very informative and it was so knowledgeable. So thank you for everything actually you could preach today.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. And Prem Kirtanapur, would you like to say something?
It was a wonderful presentation, Prabhu, from your side. And all the Matajis here, they are getting very good association from Namrata Mataji and other Matajis here.
Yeah.
And it is good that the basic, nowadays what we find is people have lost the Vedic culture,
Yeah.
especially Matajis, because the outside influence is very bad.
Correct.
Very bad.
Correct.
So, in order to protect people from having this, at least now the basic things are has become important. Forget about very high standards. Basics are very important.
Yeah.
So, even if you are able to maintain basic things also, it is a good achievement if we continue with this program.
Yeah. That's true. And they have been steadily doing, and all the teachers are extending themselves. Yeah. Your wife would like to say something? Our senior 3-4 ladies advisory board Matajis would like to say something.
no, Prabhu, I don't want to say anything.
Okay. And then our Narasimha Siddhi Prabhu's wife Mataji would like to say something.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
So, it's a really very relevant lecture, Prabhu.
No,
Particularly
I have one point for all the senior devotees here. Actually, these are all
Yes.
girls from the entire girls' voice group of 4 mentors. They have come here. So you can give them your best wishes and blessings by giving some good instruction for them. Like I spoke many things, but from your side, you 4 of you advisory board families, you are the senior most people, and you have to be congratulated because you and your wife have lived through married life for practically 50 years. 40-50 years you have lived in a family, raised children and got them, many of them are married and settled. So you have lived a life, so you can give them some instructions for their benefit. That would immensely benefit them, even if you give 1 or 2 minutes of some interesting valuable inputs for them from your side, because they all have come together today under one roof. Anybody? Who all are there? Prem Kirtanapur and his wife, and Narasimha Siddhi Prabhu and his wife. Who is the third and fourth one? Mataji? Sakirati Kumarji?
Vrindakunda Mataji and
Vrindakunda Mataji. Yeah, Vrindakunda Mataji. She will surely have something to say, Vrindakunda Mataji. And then fourth one?
Hargrace Barsana Rani Mataji.
Barsana Rani Mataji, correct. Who would like to say something to all of them? Any of them, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Maji. Mataji, you can speak in Telugu also if you want. If you want, if you are comfortable. Yeah.
This class is very inspiring, Prabhuji.
I didn't ask about the class.
For us also, it is very inspiring as Prabhuji. That look around and serve Krishna. In that, you have shown the pictures of Radha and Krishna who are worshipping in Pakistan.
Yeah.
In Pakistan, they are very much attractive and also very attractive and very beautiful, Prabhuji, those pictures.
Yeah.
And please convey our convey our good wishes for those devotees, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And that Mataji has many students in India also. She has been guiding. And the whole idea is deity worship. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if a Grihastha devotee is worshipping the deity with so much love and attention, they become eligible to even bless sannyasis also. Like that Mahaprabhu said. Because when Mahaprabhu was going to South India, he went and offered obeisances to Sarum Bhattacharya. Bhattacharya asked, what is this? You are a sannyasi, I am a grihastha, you are offering namaskar to me. Mahaprabhu said, no, you are worshipping the deity so attentively, you have the ability to bless even a sannyasi like me. Like that he said. So all these girls are little girls. Now when they grow up, when they get married, when they have a deity at home, if they very faithfully worship, just like Ambarish Maharaj's wife I was telling you, even Lord Krishna was so charmed by her worship. And she was telling Ambarish, yours is not as great as your wife. In this way, wife may be a housewife and she can win the heart of the Lord more than the husband also. Thank you.
One thing, Prabhuji. One more thing, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We are developing a small garden for Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay.
And we are getting jasmine flowers and 4-5 types of flowers for Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh, wonderful. Jasmine is the most fragrant flower. Very nice. Wonderful.
Chameli flowers and jasmine flowers.
Okay.
Sanajaji and those flowers also.
Very
3-4
good.
types of flowers for
See,
Krishna. Daily we are getting.
These are the special things. You know, you are not just only purchasing from the market, you are growing the plants in that consciousness that I am growing these flowers for Krishna. Very wonderful. And your granddaughter, what is her name? Your granddaughter, Mataji, what's her name? Bhavanvita. So Bhavanvita will offer those flowers, isn't it?
Daily she is getting flowers.
Yeah. And 2 hands are up. Namrata Mataji and Pravalika Mataji, both.
Mataji, sorry, Prabhuji, you can call me Namrata, it's fine. Prabhu, I wanted to say something actually.
Okay.
So mostly when people ask, what religion are you from? Which country are you, a Hindu or Christian? One thing from today, what I'm going to answer in one word is that I'm a Krishnatarian.
Yeah, correct. Prabhupada said, don't just be a vegetarian, be a Krishnatarian. Yeah. Krishnatarian means sanctioned and sanctified, both. Yeah, thank you. Then there is one hand, Pravalika Mataji, yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I'm really grateful for getting your association and I have no words to express my happiness. I just had one question, Prabhuji, regarding gratitude. It's really important in our life, but sometimes we fail to express our gratitude, but we are really grateful for what we got. And the people whom we are grateful for, they think we are selfish and we're not expressing our gratitude. So how are we supposed to deal with those situations?
Yeah, say if I am a little intellectual type, then it may be in my heart, but I may not express. So the best thing to do is to have a habit of writing a journal, and also sometimes what I also do in my life, if I don't express gratitude with my mouth regularly, I have a habit of expressing my appreciation and gratitude in my letters to them. Whenever I have to reply some official communication, along with that I add up these points of gratitude in the form of 4-5 more sentences, and then they recognize, oh, Prabhuji is grateful to me for these things, like that. So either we express with mouth or we write it in a card and give them on their birthday, but we have to bring it out. And criticisms, we should hold it inside. We should not bring it out. Because before we can criticize, they will rectify it. Many people, even before we tell them, they rectify the mistake. On the other hand, gratitude we should not keep inside, we should bring it out, either in writing or in speaking. Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Radhakund Mataji. Vrindakund Mataji will speak now. Yeah.
Mother, I'm beside Mother Prabhuji, Murli Gopinatha.
Yeah.
So Mother is telling me in Telugu, she wants me to translate and
you can do that, yeah, please.
What she's saying is that that all the mentor Matajis, example, So mother is saying that all the mentors should be first, they have to be very serious. Already they're sincere. Mother is saying already they are sincere, but it all relies on how much exemplarily they all are behaving in their own lives, how much exemplary they are in practicing Krishna consciousness. That much girls will be inspired and they will be happy to follow those things which they are saying.
Yes.
And mother is saying simple formula of success is just follow whatever Radhesham Prabhu is guiding all of you. It will be successful. Mother is saying.
Thank you.
Her message.
Very good. It's a very beautiful motherly blessings Vandakud Mata is giving to all the mentors. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Actually, because they are taking leadership, between preaching and behavior, there's a dynamic tension. What is the tension? When you tell other people you should do these things, then we are also forced to do it. And that is how preachers grow very fast in their spiritual lives. So all these ladies, they have their children, they have their husband, they have their family, all these 4 mentors, but they are taking care of 20-25 girls each, which is a Herculean task, not an ordinary thing. They may be getting many phone calls from the girls. Some of them are even chanting in the morning along with them. And some of them are doing more than one weekly program. So it's very, very laudable effort. And one thing is, we all have to endeavor to develop Vaishnava qualities, and we have to become ideal role model examples. If you really have to, therefore it is said, it requires charisma to bring people. It requires character to hold them for a long time, for all time to come. Because it's very easy to bring people by charisma, but then we can't hold them unless we set an example ourselves. I'm sure these mentor ladies will set a very beautiful example. And Vrindakud Mataji's blessing is very wonderful. Thank you. So,
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. There is one last question from one Mataji, and she's asking, how should we develop a submissive attitude towards our authorities?
yeah, actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj had a great respect towards Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was his authority. And when Dhritarashtra and Gandhari one day were missing in the early morning, when Vidura had taken them to forest, Yudhishthira Maharaj started loudly crying. He said, Uncle, where are you? Have you drowned in the ocean, the river or somewhere? Because, your 100 sons were killed in the battle. You were already very depressed. And probably I didn't give good care for you. And you are such a kind uncle for me. When we were fatherless children, when we came from forest after losing our father Pandu, you were there to take care of us in the palace and shelter us. And you only took care of us till now. Now without you, how will we live? And like that he started crying. When I asked my students, if Dhritarashtra is missing in your palace, you are resisted, what you will do? All students told me, we'll be jolly because a big headache is gone now. They were saying, whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj didn't consider Dhritarashtra a headache at all. He had such a respect for his superior. Although Dhritarashtra was a dangerous fellow, he embraced that one murti of where Bhima was supposed to come close to him. Krishna told him to push iron doll. So when he crushed it, that how much envy he had for Bhima. And he allowed his sons to play gambling match and drive the Pandavas to forest. He very much desired that Pandavas should be vanquished in battle. Such an envious person, Dhritarashtra, even towards him, Yudhishthira had such respect. Therefore, when we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can develop respect for anybody. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj always bowed down to his father, Hiranyakashipu, although his father tortured him in so many ways. Look at his respect for his father. Actually, at the end, when his father died, he prayed to Lord Narasimha, please, liberate my father. He was not envious of his father. So devotees, so when we are dealing with our superiors, 3 things are said. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. No, not that one. Another one I'll tell you. Titikshaya karunaya maitriya cha kila jantushu samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati. You know what this verse says? The younger ones should tolerate the superiors. Titikshaya. In case the superior is, giving us feedback, don't do this, don't do that, we should tolerate them. And how should the superiors be? Karunaya, it is said, they should be sympathetic to the juniors. Now some of you may have a question. If seniors are sympathetic to juniors, then how will they give feedback and criticism? That's the point. They are generally karunaya, they will be merciful to you, but occasionally they will give feedback. And that feedback should be received gratefully by the juniors. Titikshaya, Karunaya. And with equals, what you should do? Maitriya, be friendly. Don't brag about yourself. Don't say, I am great, I am this, I am that. Don't say that. Like me, I meet Gauranga Prabhu. We both are good friends. So when we meet, Gauranga Prabhu keeps asking me, Radheshyam Prabhu, tell me what all you are doing. I keep asking him, you tell me what you are all doing, what all you are doing. So actually, friendship means we are eager to learn from our equal friends what they are doing and appreciate them. Of course, we can share with them also what we are doing, but not in a mode of superiority, but in a mode of friendliness. So, Titikshaya means tolerate the superiors. Karunaya, if you are a superior, be compassionate to your juniors. Maitriya, be friendly to your equals. Cha akila jantushu, with all living beings. Samatvena cha sarvatma, see all living beings equally. Don't exploit them. Don't ridicule them. Don't trouble them. Treat them reverentially. Samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati. Lord Krishna becomes pleased with such a devotee who does this. So, with dealing with seniors, we should see that 4 things you can see in a senior. First thing, you can ask, what are the good qualities in this senior which other girls are appreciating? You can ask them, why do you appreciate this mother so much? Please tell me some of her good qualities, especially those who glorify her. So note down those good qualities, her personal qualities. And secondly, you should find out what is she doing for Prabhupada's mission. What is she doing for Prabhupada's mission? Like you can see that she's taking a big responsibility in the temple, in the community. Think about that, what kind of service she's rendering in ISKCON. And thirdly, you see how she has her personal life. She has mother, father, she has her in-laws, her husband, children. She has so much of burdening family responsibilities. And despite that, she is taking so much responsibility for mission. And she has to chant 16 rounds also. She has to also study her books and everything. She has to take care of herself, take care of the family, take care of the, people under her. So, thirdly, think about that. And also, fourthly, think about what she has done for me. We all should ask, what has my mentor done for me? What have I received from them? Oh, for the last so many months, so many classes have been taken. Whenever I had a trouble, I could make a phone call. Sometimes what happens in our life, we have been drawing help from a superior for years together. And one small feedback they give, we become really wild. How can you see fault in me? What about that person? What about this person? You only always catch me, and we may feel like that. Instead, we can think, what are her personal qualities? Good qualities? What are her services to ISKCON society? What has she done for me? And what are her other responsibilities besides which she is giving me time? Her own duties she has. She is also a woman like me. I am not able to manage my own life. She is managing lives of so many. So in this way, when we think like this, immediately our heart will flood with gratitude and thankfulness. And we will be able to overlook the limitations or deficiencies in them. And we also should know they are not pure devotees. I am also not a pure devotee. They are also growing. I am also growing. But one thing is sure, they are above me. They have already done, like I see our Prem Kirtan Prabhu and his wife, in their house, every Saturday they had a program. For more than 2 decades, 2-3 decades they have been having. They are like ripe mangoes. So we should always be grateful for the services done by our superiors. They are more senior than us. Many years they have done service. We can be grateful. Another thing you can know also that they are not falling from the sky. They have been appointed by superiors. They are blessed by their superiors also. They are sending reports to their superiors, seniors, and they are also being blessed. So in this way, by thinking like this, we will be able to overcome. At the same time, those who are superiors also, like myself now, I am president of Pune Temple, but I go to my seniors and always I improve, I do quality improvement of my spiritual life, which is very important. So in Hyderabad, we have a group called SLATE, which is actually for the leaders. More than 100 leaders come for that. Servant leaders, applied training education. So all these mentors and many of the senior advisory members also, they all come for the SLATE program. So this is another thing you can think about. It's not that they are only giving you instruction. They are also in a learning mode. They are learning and teaching. Each one teaches one while being taught by one. We say, So they are learning and teaching. So by thinking like this, we can know that hey, they are ready to be guided and controlled by their senior. Why can't I be guided and controlled by my senior? We can ask the question to our mind. Is that all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So I have taken a lot of time. We have crossed 8 o'clock. Thank you all for your enthusiastic participation.